call the benevolent beings of light, archangels and ascended masters, to guide and inspire us during this forum. Our forum's vision is to bring the understanding, tools, discipline, and support for those seeking to enter the straight and narrow path, the road less traveled, that will lead us along effectively and steadily through the ascension process. Integration of the human experience with our divine origin is moving us full circle to achieve our divine potential. So be it. Amen.
Tonight's topic is your divine plan and sacred path. So we will start with, when did we do this divine plan? Did we do it when we came in and kind of thought it out as a child or teenager or sometime in our adult life? Or was our divine plan already structured by the divinity that we are? Before you ever come into an incarnation and you take on a body at that time, before that point, you and your higher self, your soul and your higher self, figures out the type of personality, the exact moment that you would be born into 3D or whatever plane that you were going to, what planet, everything is planned out exactly to your needs. When God created each soul, in the fabric of that soul was a mission of what you would bring to humanity and what that soul would learn throughout all the incarnations that it comes into a body in order to grow, expand its understanding of life, and to bring the gift of knowledge through the experience in any plane that you are, in order for it to become the wisdom that you carry within you. You can share wisdom, but you can't give it to somebody. You can share knowledge. You can share your experiences, but you can't give wisdom. What people do with the knowledge that you share and what they do in their life to acquire that will become their wisdom. And as the ages move on and we keep learning and we keep growing and overcoming any of the blocks and loss of understanding and then regaining it again through the experience of life, it all makes the journey worthwhile, because our souls want to create a universe of its own making. And that universe, it is to be filled with all the wisdom that the soul picks up. The sacred path, part of this, is the actual journey that you're on. I want you to imagine that your life is not as you thought of it before, but imagine you're on a conveyor belt at the airport, the ones that are flat and they're moving along steadily, right? And bumping along, and you're moving on that conveyor belt from each of the stations where you would get off and get onto a plane. And that's our life. The amazing part of this, the way that this mechanism called life was set up, was that we would move along on that conveyor belt of life, everything planned out. There's the straight and narrow path where you stay right on that conveyor belt and keep moving forward. No matter what happens, you just accept it, follow it, learn from it, grow from it, take in the people and all of the gifts that they bring you. Some of the gifts are not pleasant, but they're showing you what's inside you. And others bring you the greatest joy to have had that experience of being with them. The conveyor belt, you can get off at any time, and you can get sidetracked, and you can enjoy getting off for a long time if you want to. Nobody's going to punish you or judge you. You're free to do what you want. But if you set your day to divine will instead of the little will, you're going to get back on that straight and narrow path to become the greatest, most extraordinary being, the I am that I am. The avatar Jesus spoke about I am that I am many, many times in the Bible. What was he saying? He was telling us that when he said, I and the Father are one, he was telling us that he reached that pinnacle. He became the great I am. Was he doing it as the only person that could accomplish that? Or did he tell us to follow him? Follow him. And if you followed his words and made them a part of you and lived them, you would have the code book to understanding what he did to accomplish that great step from a human to a soul to the great I am. Now, your soul, although things can fracture in your life from trauma and other experiences that you have in life, your soul is never damaged by what you go through. It's your personality that is experiencing that. Your soul is in the background watching and learning. And every time you overcome something that you've been tripping on for many, many years, maybe even centuries, maybe millennia, maybe eons, and we finally get it, and we recognize what we were doing. So this divine plan is being worked out through the sacred path that we're on. You cannot be on the wrong path. You can only be right where you are, because the universe doesn't waste any energy on mistakes. The universe will support you if you're walking in the path that you are taking, that is the actual divine plan for you. The universe will support you if you're following universal law, if you're not breaking these great laws. Everything based on love, Jesus told us, would bring you along the straight and narrow path. You can't be in the wrong place. You can't be making mistakes that won't serve you. Your divine plan is perfect. If you don't fulfill what you designed it to do in one lifetime, with the grace of God, you get to come back and do some more. Make up for the things that you kind of said, I'll do it next time. Because we all know at the core of our being that we can come back as many times as we choose to. The question is, how many more times do we want to go through the same patterns and get stuck in certain ruts? So what happens with our divine plan is it remains the same, and fragments of it get taken care of and others don't. And then we come back and we continue. Now, what it says in the Bible is that you can go back 4 generations, which most people think it's your father, your grandfather, and your great-grandfather or mother. No, it's your 4 last generations. And you can go back and you don't have to know what's going on, because this life will provide everything you need to heal all the way back to those 4 generations. The sacred path is what you choose to walk on. Remember, everything is choice. You choose to stay on the straight and narrow, or you choose to jump off for a while and play, have fun. I find it fun to be on the straight and narrow path because the progression that you get from staying on the path is so fulfilling and rewarding. You start to realize, gee, I haven't been sad in so long. This is like incredible. I haven't been troubled by anybody. I haven't felt anger, resentment. I haven't wanted to hurt anybody because they hurt me. What's going on? How could this be? It's because you come to love yourself. This journey is all about self-realization, all the way to knowing you are a divine being, even though you're having a human experience. For most of us here on this call, this is not our home. This is our temporary home that we came to help the people who God knew could not awaken on their own. We came here to help, to hold the light, to bring the light, and to go into the darkest places on the planet and bring light to it. A place where there was no light, none, completely void of light. And let me tell you, you brave souls, it wasn't easy and we got stuck. We got stuck. Because when you come in, you don't remember who you were, where you've been, what heaven was like. All you know is that you have a life in front of you. The trust and surrender that we learned and all the other lessons that we've had over the weeks has brought us to this divine path, the divine plan. Our sacred path is very sacred, even if you don't feel your life has been that way. Most people that are awake and aware of their spirituality have had a very difficult life. Life lessons, because we were saying, well, before we came in, we were going to finish up as much as we could in order to reach the pinnacle of our existence. This is D-Day. This is not a vacation. This is the finals we're in. You can feel the pressure on you. You're being tested. Are you going to forgive those that hurt you? Because you're only forgiving yourself. We are one. We are one. So anything that others are suffering with, we're suffering with still. If it hurts us to the point where we're troubled, angry, frustrated, whatever it is. We're all serving each other to see the beauty and grace, and also to see the things inside us that we do not want to deal with. Many of you have had a lot of tough things happen, starting with your childhood. Not everybody had the little princess or the little prince kind of experience. Why is that? Was it that our parents were at fault? Or did we bring this in with us? And because they all agreed, everybody agreed to come together to be a family, to show you what you need to know right away, right off the bat, about yourself. So blame is not something you want to carry with you. It's not in your divine plan. What you want to do is forgive yourself for everything. Everything you see in others, everything you've experienced, take it to heart. Your divine plan needs to be fulfilled. This isn't one of those lifetimes you just say, I'll do it next time. The sacred path. That is your whole life's journey, from the day you were born to this very holy moment that you're sitting in right now. This path has taken us a long ways. It's well worn. Did you choose the path less traveled? Yes, sometimes you did. Sometimes you did. And those are the paths where it brought us to our knees so that we could reflect on what we have contributed to the miscreations on the planet. We learn to be who we are today. We learn to be people of the heart, to give rather than receive, even though it's sometimes a good lesson to allow yourself to receive as well. You are great heroes, all of you, that you have made it to this point, regardless of how painful, how tough it was, really, sometimes, where you wanted to give up. But I say, just forgive yourself, surrender, and bless yourself so that you can forgive others for their part, what they do to trigger us, what people do to bring us to our knees sometimes. All we want to do is be loved and to give love. So why are people so mean? That's the part that they're playing in your life. You wrote that into your contract. Everybody that you've ever met is part of that contract. Some people are in our life for many years. Others are there for a very short period. However, they serve their purpose in our life. If we hold grudges, if we get angry and won't forgive, we're not forgiving that part of ourselves. And if we don't forgive that part of ourselves, we're missing a key component to fulfilling our divine plan. There is a divine justice, I assure you, because everything that goes out from the sender will come back to the sender. And if it is in love, you'll get that love right back, and it'll feel so good because everything is circular in this plane, 3D. Some people used to tell me that this is kindergarten. If this is kindergarten, I don't know what kind of school it could be, because this is actually graduate school. It's very, very harsh and hard. However, it will bring you where you want to go. Your divine plan will be fulfilled. You will find the peace that passes understanding. You will come to understand life in a whole different light. No longer will you blame. It's not God's fault. God only sends love. We only suffer at our own hand. But if we forgive ourselves and forgive those around us that had to be messengers, our life changes forever. Every increment that you rise up brings you more peace than you've ever known in your life. Everything is in order. everything becomes easy. Even if more than you could ever imagine happens in one 24-hour cycle, you just breathe and keep putting it in divine order. Your divine plan was designed for you, your soul, to become a god or goddess and create its own universe. So what are you putting into your universe? If you measure each day and look at how you respond or react to the world, to the people, to the circumstances, you'll measure up to what's really going on inside. Living consciously, mindful of what you think, what you say, what you do, how you behave, no matter what the circumstances, you will come to know where you need to work on yourself. There is no blaming anybody for any pain. They're just the messengers, just to push that button in you and me so that we can become aware, gee, I thought I was so peaceful. It's easy to be peaceful in a cave if you lock yourself in your house and you're not out with people. Oh, it's so peaceful. Wow. It's like the monks in the caves. They were so peaceful. They thought they were there. God, I've become a god. Nada. Because when the Dalai Lama would tell them, get out of the cave and get into the village and let's see how healed you are, they found out where they stood. We can't be in caves anymore. We've got to get out there with the people and see what happens, see what we feel, how we conduct ourselves. It's all about us. It's not selfish, because everything you heal in you goes into the collective consciousness, and that will heal many. They will tap into that and they'll get it really fast. Those of us that were forerunners, dealing with things that had not really been in the consciousness of man at the time, we were really ostracized. Nobody wanted us near them. They didn't know what we were talking about or what we were doing or where we're coming from. And they'd call it blasphemy or some crazy thing like that. I had that happen in the 80s. It was really quite amazing to present something that isn't new. It was said by many great masters that were on the planet, but they weren't listening. They didn't hear. You have the greatest opportunity right now, following your divine plan. Just ask within in the morning, please help me get through this day. Show me what I need to know. Please bring me the inspiration and guidance that I need to get through this day. And whatever you bring me, I'm on it. That's being in service. The true service to the God and Goddess, the I am, the soul. The soul wants to merge with the I am, that great presence, that great intelligence that is guiding us, trying to guide us. Are we listening? It's not about hearing a voice. It's about surrendering and trusting that if you do commit your day to service, you'll still get everything done that you would have done. You will still have an experience of the humankind, but it will happen in a different way. Circumstances will always be presented to you perfectly, even if it seems so imperfect, so scrambled, so strange. Usually it's because we're fighting it. I want to do this. Yeah, well, you're not going to do this today. That's how it goes. And you just go with it. Have you learned to surrender? And do you trust that there is a divine part of you that is guiding you every single day to you, to the truth about you, the divinity of you? The great masters, angels, and guides all around us. That's all they want. They want you to pay attention. But the world will keep you so preoccupied with matters that really have nothing to do with this group that's on this call. It's a distraction. What you're here to do is become who you really are, to learn who you are, and not look in the mirror and think you're so limited because you're in a body, or that you don't have money, or that you don't have a great job that you've always wanted. It isn't about that. Those are the human 3D worries. What our concern is that we stay on this sacred path and desire our divine plan to be fulfilled. You've done a lot of work, each one of you, and you're shining bright lights in this world that's so dark. It was meant to be this way. The world is here to reflect everybody's good and shadow. It isn't a place where you're going to find total joy if you're not a person of the world. If 3D isn't your ultimate goal, to be the rich and famous. Not that you can't be rich or famous, but if that's your goal, then you're limiting yourself, because this is very temporal that we're here. Even though many centuries ago we used to live hundreds of years, literally hundreds of years. And on some planets, we've lived thousands of years. But we're going back to that. You'll see. I have found great joy in this journey. In the beginning, I did a lot of purging, emptying. I cried a river, I cried a lake, and then I cried an ocean. That's how much grief I still carried with me at the suffering of humanity. We don't help anybody unless we help ourselves first. Just like in the airlines, the instructions when you get on there about the mask, the oxygen mask, and they're telling you first put it on your child. First put it on yourself before you put it on anybody else around you, because if you pass out, you're not going to be much help for the person next to you if it's your child or somebody that needs help. We're here to help ourselves first, to love ourselves first. And as we do that, everybody around us gets lifted up. It is such a beautiful, perfect plan. It's absolutely perfect, because anything I send out and you send out into the universe comes back to us to see what we did. And if we have a bad day, it's like, whoa, when did I send that out? It didn't come from someone else. People talk all the time about psychic attacks and stuff. Well, you can pick up on that, that's for sure, as I well know. The more open you are, you do pick up on that. But what I'm talking about is the grand plan of how this matrix was set up. Everything comes full circle. So when you have a great day, you're saying, wow, that was really, I want every day like that. Keep working, and you will do that for yourself. There's nobody doing these things to us or for us. This is about us becoming strong, becoming capable, not letting other people guide us around by the nose. We're here to become the strength of God, the truth of God, the love of God, the way of God. God, the perfection, life force itself, love beyond anything you've ever known. And you become that. It's not that we just know these things, we literally become it. Your divine plan brings you there if you surrender and trust that there is a plan. It's your plan. It's everything you've ever wanted. But P.S., you're already everything you've ever wanted to be. You just have to get rid of the things that you're not. Fear-based, limiting you to trust that something is going to go good because it might have to go bad. That's not the truth. As a god or goddess, an I am, or even from the soul level, if we operate in a way that we call for divine order, that we turn over our day to the highest aspect of ourself to run the show, you're going to find out that it becomes easy. Everything becomes so easy. You don't have to struggle or figure it out. We just have to get out of our heads and into our hearts. Follow your heart. The love of God is in you. The strength of God is in you. The intelligence of God is in you. You just have to sit quietly and allow that flow to move through you. It isn't something you figure out. It's when you stop trying to figure it out that you can feel that flow moving through you. It's warm and comfortable. And you just have an inner knowing. You don't have to be listening to a TV or a radio. You just know in your heart. And any of you that doubt this, I challenge you. Try it. Start your day letting go and letting God. It's a saying, but it's true. The blessings that you are in the world, whether you think so or not, is transforming the consciousness of mankind. If one person comes to you in a day and you can help them, you've done more than 1,000 people do in a day when they're pushing papers or when they're out there trying to battle their way through a job, to get through a day when everything seems to be going wrong. You bring that light. That's why it's so important to always hold the light. Don't get tangled up in the things in the world. That's for those sleeping. That's for those sleeping. Does that mean you don't go out and support something that's going on in the world? No, it doesn't mean that. You stand tall. Stand tall, be true to yourself and what you feel, but no violence, no cursing, no letting it drag you down. Because then you can't help yourself anymore. You can't connect to the light and the wisdom and the inspiration, the guidance. It all shuts down. Your sacred path will continue forever, whether you're here on another plane You'll always be on that path. And you're going to love it as you keep rising up and letting go of 3D blocks. Anything outside of love, just keep letting it go. And you will start to realize my life today is not what it was a year ago. Sometimes in a matter of months, you can feel the difference. Perfection is not what we're talking about. We're talking about becoming love, feeling love at all times for all beings, not judging others, not taking out your anger and frustration on others, caring about others. But first, you need to do this for yourself. You're the grown-up in the body, and you're here to nurture yourself so that you can go out, or you don't even have to leave your home, whoever you're with, to love them no matter what the circumstance. They are who they are. They're also messengers, sometimes more than people outside the home. And as we allow ourselves to just become that love that we want for ourselves, we become self-contained. We are so content within our own life. All those that came to serve us become our friends then. You no longer have to go through the rigors of all of those challenges that you did before. And with that in mind, you realize that you have grown tremendously into yourself, the true self, the divine self, the one you've been seeking. All of us have been lonely. We're lonely for our own self to become fulfilled, to reach that point that we are at one with the divine. The holiness of life never goes away, no matter what's going on, no matter what you're suffering with. You have the ability to heal it, to release it, to fill yourself with light until you really feel the effects of that. And then you'll want to do it more. Nothing outside you will be able to move you in any direction, but right down the center of your being. So when people say to me, I think I took a wrong turn and I'm not on my sacred path, I say to them, you are stuck because you have to stay there until you get it. You're in a place where you're looping round and round until you get the lesson, the understanding, or let go of something that's nagging at you and wants out. So your divine plan will continue on this plane, on the next plane, and on until you merge back with the Father, where your work is all done, whatever was programmed into you to become, you fulfilled. But you'll always be you. If you're a dot of light or in a form like human or any other form that you take on, you will always be you. Different personalities, but once you reach these higher levels of yourself, personality uplifts into a much more desirable expression where you can't help but look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I really like you. In fact, I love you. I'm so proud of you. You work so hard, and look at where you stand today. To be proud of yourself, to feel a sense that you have made a difference, not only with yourself, but with others and the world, that you came to do this job. And I'm a company man. When I take on a job, I give it everything I've got. Are you? You're serving the greatness of the Father. You are part of that. It's life force itself. That's what animates us. That's what moves us. Yes, we're stuck in a body right now. How else could we express ourselves here in 3D? It's a great place. And we're going to bring it back to its beauty through the love that we have and that we express and that we share and that we nurture. The planet has given us everything we need. All of her resources are available to us. We are so blessed with the abundance here. Let's love her. Let's love our life while we're here. Let's love the people free. That love will wake them up. There is no force in this universe stronger than that love that we're talking about tonight. That's what you are. You are the love of God. Some people find that difficult because they know what they've done. They know what they've said. They know the opportunities that they've missed to be kind and nice. But guess what? Change your mind and fix it. Just change your mind and fix it. There's nothing to hold you back from that. And you clear the karma right away. Everything's working in your favor. Everything is for you to heal and bless and become the divine. So your divine plan doesn't change. It'll always hold true. It's just us making up our mind that we want to enter that plan. The path is there in front of us. Make your choices and then just do it.